Picture this. A 91-year-old woman in Okinawa, Japan, wakes up every morning, walks half a mile to her garden, kneels down to pull weeds, and stands right back up. No help, no cane, no walker. She has been doing this every single day for the past 30 years. Now compare that to what is happening in Western countries. Nearly 1 in 3 adults over the age of 65 cannot get out of a chair without pushing off with their arms. By the age of 80, over half of Western adults have experienced at least one serious fall. Many never fully recover. So what is Japan's secret? Why are there elderly climbing stairs, crouching in gardens, and walking miles, well into their 80s and 90s, while millions of people in America, Europe, and Australia are losing the ability to simply stand up? The answer comes down to 6 specific movements that have been woven into Japanese daily life for generations. And the science behind them? It is genuinely mind-blowing. I am going to break down each one, starting from number 6 and building up to the single most powerful leg exercise ever studied in elderly adults. The number 1 exercise alone helped people throw away their walkers in just 8 weeks. That is not an exaggeration. That is from a peer-reviewed clinical trial. So stay until the end, because that last exercise could genuinely change your life, or the life of someone you love. Before we dive in, drop your age and location in the comments right now. We read every single one and we always reply. Let us kick things off with exercise number 6. And honestly, the simplicity of this one is what makes it so genius. In Japan, they call it Kakato age, which simply means heel raising. And here's the thing. Most Japanese seniors do not even think of this as exercise. Grandmothers do it while waiting for rice to cook. Elderly men do it standing on train platforms. It is baked into their daily routines so deeply that it happens almost unconsciously. But do not let the simplicity fool you. Your calf muscles are medically referred to as your second heart, and that is not just a cute nickname. Your calves are literally responsible for pumping blood back up from your feet to your heart. When these muscles get weak, and they absolutely do with age, your circulation tanks. And when circulation drops, your muscles start wasting away. It is a downward spiral that accelerates everything bad about aging in the legs. Researchers at the University of Tokyo put this to the test with 240 adults over 65. One group did daily heel raises for 12 weeks. The other group changed nothing. The results? The heel raise group gained 34% more calf strength, 28% better ankle stability, and here's the one that stopped the researchers in their tracks: a 19% improvement in walking speed. Why does walking speed matter so much? Because it is now considered the 6th vital sign by many physicians. Faster walking speed in seniors is one of the strongest predictors of a longer, healthier life. Here is how to do it properly, the Japanese way. Stand facing a wall. Place your palms flat against it, just lightly for balance. Feet hip-width apart. Now slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet. Push your heels as high as they will comfortably go. Hold it at the top for 2 to 3 seconds. Then, and this is critical, lower yourself back down slowly. Do not just drop. That controlled descent is actually where most of the strengthening happens. Aim for 20 repetitions 3 times a day, morning, midday, and evening. Each rep takes about 5 seconds. That is roughly 5 minutes spread across your whole day. Bonus tip from Osaka University research. If you do these on a slightly raised surface, like a stair step or a thick book, you activate 23% more muscle. Just make sure you have something solid to grip. Exercise number 5 comes from an unexpected source: sumo wrestling. But before you picture a 300-pound wrestler charging across a ring, relax. This adapted version is now one of the most popular senior fitness movements taught in community centers across Japan. It is called Mawashi, which means rotating or circling. And it specifically targets something that most Western exercise programs almost completely ignore: your hip joints and inner thigh muscles. Think about your hips like the foundation of a building. If the foundation is cracked, unstable, or weak, everything above it is in trouble. Every single step you take, Every time you stand up, sit down, or even shift your weight, it all runs through your hips. Weak hip muscles do not just affect your hips, they destroy your knees. They wreck your lower back. They compromise your entire ability to move. A study in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science compared Japanese adults doing traditional sumo-based exercises versus a group doing standard Western leg exercises. After just 10 weeks, the sumo group had 41% better hip stability, 37% stronger inner thighs, and significantly less knee pain. Stronger hips literally take the pressure off your knees. Here is the movement. Stand with your feet much wider than shoulder width. Turn your toes outward at about 45 degrees, the classic sumo stance. Bend your knees slightly and rest your hands on your thighs. Now imagine you are stirring a giant pot with your hips. Make slow, controlled circles, 10 in one direction, then 10 the other way. Each circle should take 3 to 4 seconds. You should feel your inner thighs, outer thighs, and deep hip muscles all engaging. Japanese seniors typically do this first thing in the morning. Research from Nagoya University showed that morning hip mobility exercises increased range of motion by 15% for the entire rest of the day, making walking easier, stairs easier, and reducing lower back pain. Number 4 is a movement that Japanese rehabilitation centers have relied on for decades. And recent research has finally explained why it works so incredibly well. They call it Suwari Ashi, meaning sitting leg. It is a seated leg extension, and it is specifically designed to strengthen your quadriceps, the 4 muscles on the front of your thigh, without putting any stress on your knee joints. Your quads are everything. They're what get you out of a chair. They're what power you up a flight of stairs. They keep you balanced when you're walking on uneven ground. And here's the scary part. After 60, you lose 3 to 5% of your quadricep strength every single year, unless you actively fight it. Do the math. In 10 years, you could lose nearly half your quad strength if you do nothing. A clinical trial at Hokkaido University followed 180 older adults for 6 months. Half did seated leg extensions 3 times per week. The other half just went about their lives normally. The exercise group? They gained 53% more quad strength. Their ability to get out of a chair improved by 44%. Their stair climbing speed jumped by 39%. These are not just numbers on a chart. These are the differences between independence and dependence. How to do it. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back fully supported and feet flat on the floor. Knees bent at 90 degrees. Now slowly straighten one leg out in front of you until it is parallel with the floor. Hold for 2 seconds. Slowly lower it back down. Repeat with the other leg. Start with 10 reps per leg and build to 20. Once 20 feels easy, add a 1 kilogram ankle weight, roughly 2 pounds. Research from Kobe University showed that even that tiny amount of added weight boosted muscle activation by 31%. One more detail. Studies suggest performing leg strengthening exercises between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. produces slightly better results than morning sessions due to natural hormone and body temperature cycles. If your schedule allows it, aim for that afternoon window. Now we are entering the territory of the really powerful movements. And this one might surprise you, because it directly contradicts what many Western doctors have been telling their patients for years. The exercise is called Shagamu, meaning to crouch or to squat. In most Western countries, doctors routinely tell older adults to stop squatting entirely. It is bad for your knees, they say. It is dangerous. But in Japan, squatting is life. People squat to use traditional toilets. They squat to garden. They squat to pick up grandchildren. They squat to socialize. And this constant daily practice keeps their legs flexible, strong, and functional for decades longer than their Western counterparts. The data backs this up in a big way. A landmark study from Japan's National Institute of Health and Nutrition compared elderly Japanese adults who regularly squatted to elderly Western adults who avoided it. The Japanese group showed 68% greater overall leg strength. Their balance was 45% better. and their hip flexibility was nearly double. These are staggering differences, and they all come back to one movement pattern that the West abandoned. Now, the key is doing a modified version that protects your joints. Stand near a countertop or sturdy piece of furniture. Hold it with both hands, feet shoulder-width apart. Now slowly lower your body. Push your hips back like you're about to sit in a chair. Only go as low as feels comfortable and controlled. For some people, that is only a few inches. That is completely fine. Hold the bottom for 3 seconds, then push through your heels to stand back up. Start with just 5 reps. Add 1 more each week until you hit 15. The gradual progression is non-negotiable. Your joints need time to adapt, especially if you have not squatted regularly in years. And here is a powerful insight from Tsukuba University. The depth of the squat matters far less than consistency. People who did shallow squats every single day improved more than people who did deeper squats only twice a week. Daily practice always wins. The second most important exercise on this list looks embarrassingly easy, but it activates over 200 muscles in your lower body simultaneously. And the research behind it is some of the most compelling in all of senior fitness science. It is called Katashi Dachi, meaning one leg standing. And its power lies not in your muscles, but in your brain. Here is what most people do not understand about strength after 60. Your muscles do not just need to be strong, they need to be smart. Your brain controls your muscles through neural pathways. When you challenge your balance, your brain is forced to recruit far more muscle fibers to keep you upright. This neural training actually builds functional strength faster than traditional weightlifting. Researchers at Tohoku University compared balance training to standard strength training in adults over 70. The balance group showed 47% greater functional leg strength, even though they never lifted a single weight. But it gets better. That same study found single leg standing practice slashed fall risk by 73%. Let that number sink in. Falls are the #1 cause of injury-related death in adults over 65. They are the primary reason people are forced into assisted living. Reducing your fall risk by 73% is not just about avoiding a broken hip. It is about keeping your freedom, your independence, your life on your own terms. Here is how to practice it. Stand near a wall or sturdy furniture. Shift your weight onto one foot. Slowly lift the other foot, just an inch or two off the ground. Hold as long as you can. At first, that might only be 5 or 10 seconds. That is perfectly fine. Work your way up to 30 seconds per leg. Japanese seniors practice this while brushing their teeth, while waiting for the kettle to boil, while standing in line. Research from Chiba University found that 3 30-second sessions spread throughout the day produced better results than one 90-second session. Little and often beats long and occasional. Want to level up? Close your eyes. A study from Kyushu University found that eyes closed balance practice increased muscle activation by 58%. Your eyes provide roughly 70% of your balance information. So removing that input forces your legs to work dramatically harder. And now, the #1 exercise. The one I have been building up to this entire video. The movement that has more clinical research behind it than any other exercise for elderly leg strength. The exercise that helped people abandon their walkers in just 8 weeks. It is called Tachi Suwari, and it literally means stand, sit. Let me give you the full story behind that Kyoto University study. Researchers recruited 120 adults between 65 and 85 years old, all with significant leg weakness. They split them into 2 groups. One group practiced Tachi Suwari every day for 8 weeks. The other received standard care. The results were so dramatic that they made headlines in the medical community. The Tachi Suwari group increased their quadricep strength by 89%. Hamstring strength went up by 76%. Balance scores improved by 71%. But here is the finding that gives me chills every time I read it. 12 participants who started the study needing walkers were walking completely on their own by the end. No surgery, no drugs, no expensive treatment. Just the simple act of standing up and sitting down, done correctly and consistently. So why is this particular movement so devastatingly effective? When you stand up from a chair, your leg muscles must generate enough force to lift your entire body weight against gravity. That is essentially a full body weight squat. But the chair gives you two massive advantages: a clear target for depth and a built-in safety net. If your legs give out, you simply sit back down. That psychological safety lets older adults push themselves harder than they ever would with freestanding squats. Follow-up research showed the movement does not just hit your quads and hamstrings, it lights up the deep, stabilizing muscles around your hips and knees. These are the muscles that traditional gym exercises almost never touch, but they are the ones that actually keep you upright, balanced, and independent. Here is the exact protocol. Sit in a sturdy armless chair, feet flat, hip-width apart. Cross your arms over your chest. Lean slightly forward from your hips. Then drive through your feet to stand. Pause briefly at the top. Now, and this part is crucial, lower yourself back down as slowly as you can. Research from Keio University found that emphasizing the slow descent boosted strength gains by an additional 24%. Start with 10 reps twice a day, morning and evening. Take about 3 seconds to stand and 3 seconds to sit. Add 2 reps each week until you reach 30. A study from Juntendo University found that 30 reps twice daily was the sweet spot. Going beyond that added fatigue without additional benefit. Once 30 reps feel comfortable, try a lower chair. Research from Osaka Medical College showed that lowering the seat by just 4 inches increased muscle activation by 33%, but only progress to a lower chair once 30 reps on a standard chair feel easy. One last tip: a Tokai University study found the greatest improvements came from doing this exercise immediately after waking up. The researchers believe that activating your leg muscles first thing in the morning programs better movement patterns that carry through your entire day. So there you have it. 6 exercises that Japanese seniors have used for generations to build and maintain powerful, functional legs well into their 80s and 90s. From the humble heel raise that acts as a second heart, all the way up to Tachi Suwari, the movement that literally helped people walk again. And here is the beautiful part. All 6 exercises combined take an average of just 18 minutes per day. No gym, no equipment, no expensive trainer. Just 18 minutes for the chance to double your leg strength, cut your fall risk by over 60%, and keep your independence for years, maybe decades, longer. Here is my challenge to you. Start tomorrow morning with exercise number 6, the heel raises. Master it for 1 week. Then add number 5. Keep stacking until you are doing all 6. Your future self will look back at this moment as the day everything changed. Now I want to hear from you. Which exercise are you most excited to try? Have you or someone you love struggled with leg weakness or balance problems? Drop it in the comments. We read every single one and we always respond. And if this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe, because we have got a lot more life-changing content coming your way. I will see you in the next one.